Okay, seen this morning. Governor Bentley refuses Syrian refugees relocating to Alabama, released yesterday. Refusing Syrian refugees after the attacks in Paris. Kids seen this coming. After full consideration of this weekend's attacks of terror on innocent citizens in Paris, I will oppose any attempt to relocate Syrian refugees to Alabama through the U.S. Refugee admissions program. As your governor, I will not stand complicit to a policy that places the citizens of Alabama in harm's way. Okay. Like I said, I've seen this coming. You know, it's what it's all about. It's the refugees. And they don't, people in these countries not wanting to take responsibility for the shit they've caused. I mean, come on. Now, governors of Michigan and Alabama are barring the Syrian refugees. Where is it? Okay. Earlier Sunday, Governor Rick Snyder in Michigan said his state was halting efforts to accept refugees from Syria. Michigan is proud of our rich history of immigration, but the state's priority is protecting the safety of our residents. I'll get to him in a minute. One of the State Department's 9 domestic refugee processing centers is in Mobile, and Bentley didn't say Sunday how he would stop the federal government from relocating Syrians in his state. Yeah, good luck with that. We have very expansive screening procedures for all Syrian refugees who have come to the U.S. There's a very careful vetting process that includes our intelligence community, our National Counterterrorism Center, and the Department of Homeland Security, so we can make sure that we're carefully screening anybody who comes to the U.S. Well, then why are you barring them if your fucking shit's that good, man? Come on. Really? Can we say... Fuck, what's the word? Fear-mongering? Be afraid. Saying you have no faith in your screening process. That's what it says, so... What's that say about the government? You don't trust your government? Shit. Here's CNN. Cat. Syrian refugees shunned by some in U.S. after attacks in Paris. Like I said, could have seen this coming. That's from 2011. Along with 100 killed, allegedly killed and wounded. The Paris attacks have had a multitude of indirect victims, the refugees from Syria, mostly. Yeah, because everybody closing their borders because of this shit. Louisiana also. Even before Sunday's revelation, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal, I don't know if I'm saying it right, complained bitterly in an open letter to President Barack Obama on Saturday. He said the federal government had not informed his government about refugees being located to his state last week. It's irresponsible and severely disconcerting to place individuals who may have ties to ISIS in state without the state's knowledge or involvement. Fuck. Stupid computer. He demanded to know more about the people being placed in Louisiana to avoid a repeat Paris attacks. See? Fear, be afraid. He suggested Obama hold off on taking in more refugees. It would be prudent to pause the process of refugees coming to the U.S. Authorities need to investigate what happened in Europe before this problem comes to the U.S. See? More fear. be afraid. But look here, from January 2010, Alabama ready to accept Haitian refugees. Retired Lieutenant General Russell Honore, who was credited with restoring order in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, is calling on the U.S., and in particular the governors along the Gulf Coast, to offer refuge to the most vulnerable Haitians affected by the deadly January 12th earthquake. It would be nice, very moral, if our governors would reach out and take the vulnerable population to a place that is safe. It's a moral issue. We ought to do what we can to help people. Really? But you won't take these people? Are you serious? What a fucking joke. And then look here. July 2010. Former Vietnam refugees enjoy being Americans. They've been there since the 70s. Didn't have no problem with it then, did they? No, sorry, the 80s. Yeah, I won't get all into that, but see, you see what? In here. Oh yeah, Obama speaking at the G20 summit. Yeah. On the eve of the terror attacks. Fuck's sake. Africans relocate to Alabama to fill jobs after immigration law. This was September 2012. They hadn't heard of Albertsville, Alabama until a recruiter offered him a job there. Now, he earns $10.85 an hour, and this was in 2012, so he probably makes more than that now. Cutting chicken breast on a poultry plant, night shift. An unexpected beneficiary of a year-old law designed to drive out illegal Hispanic immigrants. This isn't what the law's backers said would happen. Republican State Senator Scott Basin, a sponsor, said at the news conference last year that the restrictions on undocumented workers would put thousands of native Alabamians back in the workforce. Instead, it caused a labor shortage that resulted in the importation of hundreds of legal African and Haitian refugees and Puerto Ricans, according to interviews with workers, advocacy organizations, and businesses. Most were recruited by the poultry industry, in a segment of the economy that has been a heavy employer of undocumented workers, according to the Pew Hispanic Center, a Washington research group. Alabama is one of 5 states that last year passed immigration laws modeled on a 2010 Arizona measure largely invalidated by the U.S. Supreme Court in June. Last month, an appellate, whatever that's, in court in Atlanta said many of the Alabama law's requirements also aren't constitutional. Other provisions, including one allowing police to arrest suspected illegal immigrants, remain in place. Here. Refugee secondary migration to Alabama to fill jobs locals reject. See, that's a copy and pasted from that. See. Anyway. You reject these refugees that we bombed the shit out of their country, but yet you take in the Haitians from an earthquake. Well, you know, that's bad too, but, you know, come on. If your screening process is that as good as you say it is, you shouldn't have nothing to worry about. And then, but, you know, it's all about the fear. You know, you got to keep the fear hyped up in the Americans. I mean, come on. You let all these other refugees in to fill jobs. And because, you know, natural disasters. I understand that, but, you know, we've been bombing the crap out of these people's country. You know, now all across Europe, they nobody wants them now because there might be ISIS in them. I mean, fuck. Let's see, the goal. Okay, so let's look at this. Obama toughens line on Putin over Ukraine at G20 summit. He said on Sunday that Russia would remain isolated by the international community if President Vladimir Putin continued to violate international law in Ukraine. Okay, now they bringing up the fucking Ukraine again. Really? Obama has described his meetings with Putin this week as blunt and businesslike. Said that he had made it clear Russia would remain isolated if it continued to provide support to separatist rebels. Wonder what Putin has to say about this. I'll have to look that up, but I won't have time in this one. On Syria, President Assad was warned against his military engaging U.S. warplanes conducting operations against IS militants. We've communicated to the Syrian regime when we operate going after ISIL. Is it ISIL or ISIS or IS? What the? In their airspace, they would be well advised not to take us on, he said, using another name for Islamic State. Fuck. Obama ruled out a political solution to the civil war, really. It's not a fucking civil war, we know that already. In Syria, that would leave Assad in power, and denied reports his administration was conducting a formal review of its military policy in the country. He accepted, however, that it was the nature of diplomacy that Washington would eventually have to deal with some of its rivals to bring peace to the war-racked country. Peace? You fucking crazy. You don't want peace. If you did, you wouldn't be over there fucking bombing them in the first goddamn place. Kidding? And then switching to domestic politics. He wraps up a week-long swing through Asia. Obama said that he was taking a wait-and-see approach to the Keystone XL pipeline bill approved by the Republican-led U.S. House of Representatives on Friday. So it's all about the pipeline that's going through there. You can see more on Kip's channel. Leaving. You probably knew him. You can read the rest of that shit if you want, I guess. Obama and Putin have private chat at G20 summit. It just shows the back of his head. I had one. Can't find it. And there's they all are. Look at Merkel. I bet she's standing there like that again with the... Fuck, I can't even do it. Like in the damn... that magazine. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. Fuck. Anyways, Obama and Putin's power huddle, the two most powerful men in the world, hold 30-minute meeting hunched over a coffee table at G20 after the president vowed to redouble fight against ISIS. Obama said skies have been darkened by the attacks in Paris on Friday. Really? Like the shit going on in Palestine ain't bad enough, and all Yemen, Iraq, or wherever the fuck else we're bombing that we citizens don't know about? Who fucking knows? I mean, goddamn. These poor refugees are... Nobody wants to help them now because of the bombing in Paris. Let's see here, look at these pictures. So this is from... fuck. I don't know when that was from, it don't save it. Anyway. See there? There it is. The fuck? it. Yeah, that's it.